Hey guys. So, I don't ever do this professionally, so sorry. I always use my phone. It's not good quality, but my videos are more about the information rather than like all the high-tech stuff. So I am on day 5 of my new Versant residency orientation. And for those of you that haven't seen my previous videos, I am in the OB L&D department. So that's what I'll be doing, helping deliver babies. So so I'm driving to day 5. Today is it's kind of weird the way they did it. It's kind of backwards, so to speak. Like Monday was just modules, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we had what was called a stork class, and it was over all the L&D documentation charting in Care Connect. And so that was whoa. I mean, it didn't seem like a lot when you think, oh, I'm just going to chart this for one person and move on with my day. Like for me, I've been an LVN forever, right? So I've worked like med-surg, PCU, the ER, but that was a different, like, total type of charting. So with that being said, you would chart on your 6, get your charting done, and then just kind of like update it and chart by exception throughout the day. And for this, it's like kind of like the ER in the sense that you get your patient in, and then you get them admitted, and then they deliver. If they deliver on your shift, then you get another patient. And so I'm like, realistically, how many times a day are you going to be doing that admit charting or whatever? I don't know. It just seems like a lot. So I'm not really sure what that is like in real life. But even though past the admission, there is still like a lot of charting, and it kind of seemed like some of it was duplicated. So if you work in the L&D or anything like that, let me know, is it legit duplication? Because it really felt like it. So that was Tuesday and Wednesday, and then yesterday I got to go back to my entity, and because the other days we were at corporate, and so the hospital that I'll be working for, or the location rather, and then just did more modules.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
L&D, and then today is actually the welcome day for the Versant, specifically, not just general orientation, but orientation for the Versant students. So that's where I'm on my way to. Pretty excited about that, because it's just, I have worked for this hospital organization for 3.5 years, and so to go through all that, just kind of it's just, well, let me just say this. So I graduated in July. I took my NCLEX in August. So officially been an RN since August. But I had to go back to my regular LVN job with the hospital organization. So from, August to just this past week, I've been just working in my regular role. And so not a lot has changed for me up to now. And it's kind of been this very surreal, weird feeling. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're gonna go to L&D, are you so excited? And I was like, I don't feel like anything's changed yet. And so then starting orientation and having to go back through general orientation has again felt like, been here, done this. When is the new stuff gonna start? So today we'll see. They're supposedly going to be giving us a light breakfast and snacks later. And so, it kind of feels like an official welcome aboard, to the Versant, versus maybe the last several days. So, moving forward, next week I have another week of orientation, so it's more like doing more modules because there's like a billion of them, and then I can't remember what Thursday is. I think Thursday or Wednesday is like an EKG class or something, and then Friday is the new employee orientation at my hospital, where I'll actually be working. And so that's even more exciting because then I can see like all the newbies in the hospital. And so I work for like a huge hospital organization, but the actual hospital or the location that I'm going to be at is fairly, new. It's only like been around maybe like for sure less than 10 years, maybe even like 5ish, I don't know, but not that long. And so that'll be cool to kind of see who else is coming on board there specifically. So I haven't met my preceptor, but we have chatted via text, and from what I understand, like she's got lists for me, like she's really excited, and so that's cool to know that she's excited, because I did not want to get assigned with a flat tire. And if you've ever had a preceptor, you know exactly what a flat tire is, or somebody that was just gonna like be frustrated with me. So the Versant is not new to the entire hospital organization, but the Versant is new for L&D at this particular location. So I am the first student and the only student for the L&D at my hospital. No pressure. And so the way they are going to do it is initially they are going to pair me with a newer nurse, and I think she's only been a nurse maybe like 4 or 5 years. And then later on, about halfway through or something, at some point, they are going to pair me up with an older, more seasoned nurse. Not older, but like more seasoned nurse. And so that's going to be cool. I really like the mindset behind that. And they have said that they, wanted to pair us up with a newer nurse initially, because they would understand the anxiety that I'm going to be experiencing. They're going to understand. It's going to be fresh, that feeling of being the new kid and the not knowing, and then just because that transition is still fresh on her mind. And then to pair me up with a more seasoned nurse, someone that knows the ropes, is truly comfortable in their role, and can kind of give those tips and tricks and so on and so forth. So I'm really excited for that, because if you've ever been a new kid, like I said, in a hospital, and have had a preceptor before, and I'm more or less speaking to those of you that maybe have been an LVN before, you know what it's like to get a preceptor that is not looking forward to having you today, and or surprised that, oh, you're here and I didn't know I was getting you. So I'm excited to be with somebody that's just as excited. What else? So I don't want to show you, but this is the backside of my new badge, and it's got it's all pink to represent women's services, and so that's really cool. I don't know, you guys, like I've worked for this for so many years, like legit probably started working on this, like I was a medical assistant, and then went on to be an LVN, and then started going back to college like 2005, 2006. So this has been like a freaking long, drawn out journey for me. So to see RN on my badge, to be recognized, in my area, LVNs meant something up till about like 5, maybe 6 years ago. We mattered. We were a legitimate nurse. We worked alongside nurses. We had the same, patient workload. It was just all very much the same. We hung blood. We did everything in our area. And then that changed. And I almost felt like after that point, I almost felt like I was having to go back and look at like general help wanted, ancillary help, no longer really recognized as an actual nurse. And so through the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, like I feel like I'm somebody again. And I hate that that's the case. And please don't take that wrong if you're an LVN. Like, I'm just referring to my experience and my journey. I do know that there's a lot of like well-seasoned LVNs that are out there, like still in wonderfully recognized roles, and are doing their thing, and don't feel or have not felt the pressure of that change that I did. But like I was an ER nurse when I got the notice that I would have to be moved out of the critical care setting because I was just an LVN and I didn't even have sufficient time to get my RN. So like I'm just referring and basing this on my experience. If you're out there and you're an LVN in whatever state, whatever community you're in, and you are still recognized and respected as a nurse, then you know what? This isn't for you. I'm not referring to you. And I definitely don't want to step on toes or insult anyone. But this has just been, like I said, my experience. So for me, it just feels so like full circle. And like I'm back in the game, like getting to do what I've always loved to do. And truly and honestly, I've always loved being a nurse. I've always loved healthcare. I feel like I'm a good nurse. I feel like I have compassion and respect for people, and I have a deep desire to understand the science behind the things that are taking place in a patient. So this is just where I belong. In fact, when sorry about all the noise and the lighting. So when I was risk losing my place in nursing, I couldn't imagine doing anything else, and I really struggled with that. I was like, who am I if I'm not a nurse? And even with this program, when if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I struggled, and that was the question. Like, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and it was like, God, who am I if I'm not a nurse, if I'm not caring for people? I've spent my entire life, my firstborn son was a special needs child, and from the time I was a new mom at 16 taking care of him, like I have always been a caregiver, and even way before him, I was a caregiver. So anyway, I know that's like a long drawn out story and stuff, and this is like a really long video, but I just wanted to come on here and just tell you guys, like, if you're going through it, if you're like frustrated, if you're in nursing school and you're feeling lost or you're not feeling successful, take it from me, like, it is so worth the struggle. It is possible, and I still pinch myself, and I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe that I'm showing up to like the Versant orientation, that I'm a nurse, and that I got my little registered nurse thingy on my badge. Like, it's so surreal. So many blessings to you all out there. The struggle is real. I'm very familiar with it, but it is not impossible. If you're a believer, continue to pray, because if God has placed you on this journey, Philippians 1:6 says he will finish the good work that he started. If you're not a believer, you should be, because it's everything. It's the only reason that I'm here. But yeah, so have a blessed day. Take care.